Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Stout Field here at Fort Bliss, Texas, and the 11th edition of the World Military Women's Football Championship. I'm Van Stokes, and once again, we're glad you could join us for tonight's game. With 9 teams competing for the Women's Military World Cup, we've got action in Group A now. We've had 2 games tonight. This will be the second. In the game that just ended, the USA beat the Netherlands by the score of 3-1. Neither the Netherlands nor the USA will advance to the medal round. Our second game of the night, it's going to be an Asian matchup between Korea and China. The winner of this game will win Group A, and they will advance to the championship game here on Tuesday night. It's the 9th day of competition, and we want to remind you that this Military World Cup is being conducted by the Conseil International du Sport Militaire, which is French for the International Military Sports Council. Otherwise, we call them by its acronym, and that is CISM. This year marks the 70th anniversary of CISM, which was founded in 1948 with 5 original countries. Let's go now to the public address announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of CISM, the International Military Sports Council, once again, welcome to Stout Field and the 9th day of competition in the 2018 World Military Women's Football Championship. As they come on to the pitch for our second game of the night, would you please welcome the 2 teams from Group A? They are the women's military teams from the Republic of Korea and China. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, will you please rise for the playing of the national anthem for the Republic of Korea, and please remain standing for the national anthem of China. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the CISM motto of Friendship Through Sports is fully alive here in Fort Bliss, Texas, and we wish the best for each of the teams in tonight's competition. As a reminder to our crowd, this championship is being conducted as a part of the Conseil International du Sport Militaire, known in English as the International Military Sports Council, and referred to around the world by its acronym CISM. With 138 member countries, CISM conducts more than 20 military world championships for its member nations every year, and they are all conducted under the motto of Friendship Through Sports. This year marks the 70th anniversary of CISM, which was founded in 1948 with 5 original countries. Today, CISM has grown into the second largest multi-sport organization in the world, second only to the Olympic Games. Again, best of luck to our teams tonight. Well, those are the public address announcements here as both teams have taken the field. Our officials for this contest. Our referee on the field, that's going to be Lizzie Vanderhelm of the Netherlands. Assistant referee Alicia Messer of the United States and Jennifer Garner also of the United States. Our fourth official handling primarily administrative duties, that's going to be Florence Guillemine from France. Let's take a look at the starting lineups if we can for China. In the goal is going to be Trey Ji. Trey will be joined by Wang Ri, Lin Yuping, Tan Shan, Zhu Zhan, Li Yan, Yao Wei, Lu Yangwin, Liu Yuting, Lin Yuyan, and Zhang Ri. That's the way they're going to line up for China. For Korea, in the goal will be Guan Zhu-young. Guan will be joined by Kim Ji-wong, Ban Du-young, Kwan Ha-nul, Lim Li-rong, Kim Ja-ha, Kim Won-ji, Kim Yeon-ju, Kim Min-jin, Moon Seong-mi, and Nam Jong-min. Those are your 11 on to the pitch for the Republic of Korea. Korea out tonight. They've got the red jerseys, black pants on, black trunks, red socks. China in their white jerseys, white trunks, and white socks tonight. Our officials out in their yellow tops tonight. China got off to a good start, this being their first ever CISM competition. In women's soccer, they beat the United States in their first game by the score of 3-0. That was on Sunday, the 24th of June. And then on the 26th of June, last Tuesday, they beat the Netherlands 1-0 before beating Canada 2 days later by the score of 6-0. Right now, they're ranked number 1 in Group A with 9 points. They've scored 10 goals in this competition and have not given up a single goal. But they must beat Korea to play for the gold medal match. Korea opened their play in the 2018 CISM Women's World Football Championship by beating the USA 1-0. They then beat Canada 3-0 and tied the Netherlands 0-0. They've got 7 group points, have scored 4 goals in the tournament, and have given up no goals, just like China. So we are underway here in the first minute of the match between Korea and China to decide who will win Group A and move on to the championship match on the 3rd of July. As I am joined right now on this broadcast by my colleague, the Chief of the United States Delegation and the Secretariat of the United States Armed Forces, Mr. Steve Denote. And Steve, this promises to be a great match. Let's just put it like that. 2 teams from Asia, but there's a lot on the line here.
Absolutely. The winner goes to the gold medal match, the other to the bronze medal match. So it depends on what color medal you want. That's what you're going to get out of this match. We had a fantastic game the other day with South Korea and Netherlands. However, neither team was able to get on the board, and that's going to maybe possibly come back and haunt South Korea, but it depends on how they recoup from that game.
As I said earlier, 9 group points for China, 7 group points for Korea, but yet if Korea wins this game, then they will move on for the gold medal match or against a team yet to be determined in Group B, but the leading contender in Group B clearly is Brazil.
Yeah, in Group B, the only way Brazil's not going to make the medal match, Germany would have to come out, decimate them score-wise, and Bahrain would have to defeat France to force a 3-way tie for Germany or France to actually get ahead of Brazil in the tie-breaking results. So we're going to have to see what happens.
We've seen stranger things than that happen on the fields of play through the years, but right now, as I said, Brazil, the odds-on favorite to win Group B.
Yeah. And when you look at what France did to Germany, 6-0, and then Brazil came out and pounded France 3-0. It's pretty good indication with what may happen. That momentum's going to carry on. You're going to probably see Brazil in the finals. But again, stranger things have happened. We don't want to call it too early, but the trend says one thing. So you got Korea now moving up again.
You've got Brazil. They beat France in their first outing by the score of 3-0. And in their second game, they beat Bahrain 9-0. So they've got 12 goals that they have scored and have not given up a goal. And that really leans heavily in their favor to making them the odds-on favorite to win Group B and then come into the championship match against the winner of this game right here. So this is going to be interesting to see who might strike first.
Yeah, both teams are coming out pretty hard, so they want to jump on that board pretty quick, take advantage of the wind. And they want to get out there and attack. You can see them fighting for position right now. South Korea in the white, or in the red, China in the white.
They'll take it to the far corner, and it will go out on the far corner. And these are two teams, as we've watched them play in the competition thus far, I would have to say they're similar in style. That said, I think that China might be a little more aggressive than Korea.
They are, but we saw China really pull back against Netherlands. They only kept it at 1 goal, and they didn't stay on the attack. Whereas the last match between USA and Netherlands, the USA kept on the attack the entire time and was able to catch Netherlands off guard, and they were able to pull 3-1 ahead.
Well, the interesting thing is I look at the stats, and that is that China has scored 10 goals in this competition, and Korea has only scored 4 goals in this competition.
Yep. So both teams have a tendency to pull back and not that they'll show signs of aggression, but they don't keep it up. That's going to be the difference.
I don't look for a high-scoring match here. I look for more of a lower-scoring match. I mean, it could be a 2-goal difference, but I don't think it would be much beyond that.
And if both teams do tie, China will come out with the advantage just simply on the match or the tournament points, having 9 already.
Korea knows if they want to advance to the gold medal match, they have to win this game. And China knows if they want to advance, all they've got to do is tie.
Yep.
You get 3 points for a win in group play, no points for a loss, and 1 point for a tie. And as we indicated, China's already got 9 group points, and Korea, the Republic of Korea, has 7. And we got a nice little crowd on hand tonight rooting for Korea. You see the Korean flags down here in the bleachers in front of the press box here at Stout Field. And the Koreans in and around the El Paso area have come out to support Korea, just like the Germans have come out to support the team from Germany. And, of course, the home field for the United States. Great crowd on hand as the USA just beat the Netherlands in the first game tonight by the score of 3-1. And down on the field, foul on the far side against China, and Korea will take over. I thought it was very touching to see the United States, and we've seen that in all the USA games, and to see them come across the field and express their appreciation to the hometown crowd, and then the hometown crowd also expressing their appreciation as the Netherlands team came over as well. The hometown crowd that had been rooting for the USA, they stood on their feet, they rose, and they gave a tremendous round of applause to the Netherlands.
Absolutely. Really well done match between both sides, and the thing you saw that really symbolizes CISM is friendship through sport. They were knocking each other down, but then they would stop, pick each other up, and the crowd saw that.
Yeah,
and that's where the appreciation comes from.
You know, you see this in a lot of places, but not every place. I saw a lot of it today, some of it today when I watched the Uruguay-Portugal match on the World Cup. And there's a lot of respect from one athlete to another, just like there is from one military person to another, because regardless of your country, when you line up and you play the game, and regardless of the game, you have to respect your opponent for all the skills and all the work that it's taken to rise to this international level. And then at the same token, Steve, we're talking about military people having respect for fellow military people wherever they might be stationed around the world.
Absolutely. And when you don't see that in military sporting events, then you get worried. And we've seen a lot of great sportsmanship all the way through this whole tournament. And that's what we're supposed to be about.
In the first game, we had the opportunity to share the booth with Mr. Hen Blickman, who is the secretary for the CISM Sport Committee Football. Also happens to be from the Netherlands and has been in that job for 27 years. He's seen a lot of international competition, as it's his job to get the Netherlands teams ready to go forth and then send them forth into CISM competitions. And he is the penultimate sports diplomat, Steve, is where I was going in that comment.
Absolutely. He's been such a great colleague all these years. And funny story, just yesterday, went up to the tram on Ranger Peak in the Franklin Mountains. Nice little tram system they have here in El Paso. At the top there, I see Hen and his wife and their niece sitting there. Come up behind him and says, "Excuse me, have you seen a couple Dutch people?" He turned around and went, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I've been looking for you." He said, "Really?" "No." I said, "This is just coincident, my friend." So we had a couple good laughs. Here his niece lives in El Paso. They had not met her before. Their family immigrated several years ago to the United States, and just a small world as CISM brings people together.
Exactly. Small world as CISM brings people together. And we see the flag from China now being posted down on the fence by a contingent in support of the Chinese team. This is the first time China has participated in the Women's World Football Championship, and they have made quite a splash in this, their first year at this level of competition. But they came for a good reason. Number one, to find out basically what this competition might be all about, and they know that. I mean, they have fared very well and put themselves in a position that, well, they could move on to the gold medal match. But beyond that, Steve, to note, they're going to be hosting in 2019 the World Military Games. Once again, enlighten our viewers about the World Military Games.
Military World Games held every 4 years, 1 year before the Summer Olympic Games. Now, we also have in CISM the World Winter Games, but for next year, Wuhan, China, will host the 7th edition of the CISM Military World Games. That is our Military Olympics. China will host 28 total sports, 4 of them demonstration sports. And they're expecting over 100 nations. I would say maybe, if they can do better than South Korea, probably over 118 nations. And hopefully 7,500 athletes. That's what they're hoping for. So it's going to be a great event. The United States, we're hoping to have a great presence there, as well as many other nations within CISM. And women's football will be part of that. They will have 8 total teams in Wuhan. So while we have more in this particular tournament, they do have to limit the number of teams overall. So that's why you're only going to see 8 women teams.
Here comes the run. China, right side. After the ball quickly. Centered it back. Great play on the side by Korea to get it back out of the way. Over to Zhang Ri. Attempted kick that time by Li Yan. Li Yan puts a left foot. It's a bender, nice. And what a tremendous save that time by Guan Zhuyong in the goal. But also, what a beautiful kick that was on the left side.
Had to bend and took advantage of that wind.
Man.
And I think it caught the goalie off guard for a second.
It almost bent right around into the side of that goal. That was as nice of a bending kick as we have seen. But it was also a great play by Guan Zhuyong. So Guan will send it downfield. Gets under with her right foot. Has a low, hard lining kick. And China will try to turn it back up. But not if Korea has anything to say about it. The red shirts will go back the other way. Pass over the center. Got an opening on the left side, and it's an offside call. Moving down the left side that time was Liu Yuting, but just a little bit ahead of her. Now you talk about the Military World Games. The last Military World Games was in South Korea.
So you have 2 teams here, one that just hosted, one that's about to host. The city of Munyang hosted the World Military Games in South Korea. They had well over 7,000 athletes, 118 total nations participating. A total of 26 sports. Introductory sport was archery, which became an official CISM sport as of last year when France hosted the second edition. Now, in order to have an official world level Category 1 sport within CISM, you have to have at least 8 men, 4 women participate in the championship, and I mean by nations, so 8 nations for the men, 4 nations for the women, and it has to be done on 2 different continents. Once those are held within a 4-year cycle, it becomes an official CISM sport. So Korea was very generous in allowing that new sport, and they also included para archery, which is CISM has a program for para athletes, and those are the active duty wounded warriors that we have an integrated format, so it's not just a separate para sport. It's actually they are out there together. They just following a progression of different. So for track and field, for example, you have 100 meters by able-bodied, followed by the disability categories. Archery, they'll all compete on the same range. They'll just have the last few ranges or somewhere in the middle, the para athletes.
Yep.
So great activity.
And a lot of really positive things going on with CISM.
Yep.
Here comes Korea back up the left side. And Korea, to finish the thought process on Korea hosting the Military World Games, they hosted it in a world-class level.
Absolutely. Very impressed with Korea. They were held in 8 total different cities, with each city really embracing the CISM symbol of friendship through sport. There was many locals that came out to support, and they actually had booster clubs in a sense where they would root for a team that was out there. So they would, as the locals were coming in, they would give them flags of one of the competing nations, and really just help and show the support for the countries that were participating, even if they were not, one of the Korean teams. So it was just an outstanding program overall.
Here comes Korea, left side. Liao Yuting centers the pass, headed back out to the right side by China. I remember being in Korea in 1988. It was prior to the 88 Olympics, but I got a chance to tour the Olympic facilities in Seoul, Korea at that time. And then it was a number of years later that Korea hosted the World Cup. And so my point being is the Military World Games there, the last Military World Games, were clearly a world-class experience, but hosted by a nation that is used to hosting world-class experiences.
Absolutely.
Now, having said that about Korea, we're going to China in 2019, and oh, by the way, the last time we checked, they did a pretty nice job with the Beijing Olympics, so they're also familiar with hosting.
Yep.
A lot of high-level world-class things.
Absolutely. And both nations are active in CISM, so we expect a world-class job once again.
So long kick down the right side. It's going to go outside. It's going to outside the line, so it's going to be China's ball. They're going to try to turn it around, come back up the other side.
The reason why we're seeing a little bit higher level competition in this match with China and South Korea, both nations have a very strong military sports program and athletic corps. So with both Korea, they have the Korean Armed Forces Athletic Corps, and they are stationed out of Munyang primarily. They do have some in Seoul, some activities in Seoul, but their main goal is to get military athletes into the Olympics and part of the national program. And China also does the same thing. They have a very strong program. So that's why China, even though this is their first CISM championship, they are here and having trained together for about 3 years before coming to this particular event. So we're excited to see them.
Well, they're putting on some pretty good displays. Some very nice displays right now, I might add. You talk about personal skills. You see them out there. Great personal skills by both Korea and China. And their tactics, pretty solid tactics as well. We saw a lot of defensive efforts by the Netherlands, and we saw the United States in a hard-fought game, defensive efforts, a couple of breakaways by the USA. And USA came away with a 3-1 win over the Netherlands earlier, but style of play a little bit different here between China and Korea. Long shot from the outside, trying to trace it down quickly back to the goal goes Guan Zhuyong, but that one drifted to the right side and went past the upright, the post on the right side, and goes out. Now the wind is behind the backs of China right now. So they can launch it long, and the goalie for Korea, Kwon Ju-young, is going to have to, well, make adjustments for the wind. She boots one into the wind, and it just holds it up. The higher the ball goes in the air, the more it's going to be held up by the wind. Left side now. Attempted to lead long was Liu Yuting. China takes it away. They're going to come back the other direction. They'll head down the center. You got 4-on-4. Basically, here comes Korea now back on defense. They gather quickly. Li Yan controlling the midfield for China right now. Far left side, crossing pass, headed out by Korea. And it comes back down to the center. Wong Ri sends it down the field for Korea. China turns it back the other way.
You know, we're definitely seeing a lot of different styles on the continent still playing here. You have the Asians in Korea and China. They are really bunched up in the middle. They seem to be moving as a collective beehive group. Whereas the South American style, you're seeing a lot of longer passes, a lot of quicker transitions. The European style, you're seeing, you know, very strong defensive walls.
And control soccer.
And control soccer. But, you know, we kind of talked about being played within the 20s. You're seeing that, but they're also playing within those yellow lines when you see out there.
And those yellow lines that you are referring to are the lines on a flag football field, that Stout Field, the Stout Track and Field Complex is what it's called on the sign out front. This is the first athletic competition on this brand new synthetic turf. They got a brand new track, brand new seats, and so this stadium is being christened, if you will, by this competition. And following this, it will become, well, they'll play soccer on it, of course, because that's the way the field is marked, but they will also be playing flag football on it. And you don't have to worry about the weather here because it's an artificial surface. They're playing around in the middle. This one comes over on the left side. Li Yutang. Going to dribble down the left side. Going to try to get off a shot. Good defender now by China. And Liu Yutang boots it out. Actually off of a defender from China. So ready to put the ball back in play is Ban Du-young. Couple of shots on goal by China and one by Korea tonight. Couple of saves also by the Korean goalie. It's going to be a Korean kick from the corner now.
If you're looking at the corner flag, you can see the wind blowing. That's west to east downfield in the favor of China. It's behind China as they're heading down the field. So Korea has a little bit of a push to move that ball up against the wind.
Up it goes near the center. Deflected and knocked out. Korea trying to keep it alive. Yeah, everybody's back there for China. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody but the goalie. China wants to get it out and send it upfield, but Korea will not allow that to happen. They go over to the left side. Sliding kick out of bounds. Working hard on the left side for Korea was Kim Ji-ha that time. Also trying to help Kwon Ha-nul. Ha-nul's been a strong player for this team from Korea. She's got one goal. She got that against the United States. 84 degrees outside, 29 Celsius right now. That's about as low as it's been here. And a lot of action near the goal, but pushed out again. Kicked around again. And you've got an offsides. down in the goal. Wind, didn't get a look at the wind, but the wind is kind of kicked up just a little bit. 8 miles an hour, 13 kilometers per hour. And gusts beyond that. So a lot of activity in the front of the goal, but Korea unable to come away with anything. And out it comes. Treji gets it out. Throw in by China. They're going to try to control on the left side. They do just that. Little lead pass taken away by Korea. China bounces back nicely. And as we said earlier, nice Korean contingent on hand rooting for their team. Dribble to the left side and it's going to go out of bounds. So Korea will inbound the ball. Korea trying to get downfield, but China being very obstinate right now, blocking everything and everything they can, trying to take control, push from behind, play on, says the referee. Here comes China. They'll move it towards the middle, and Korea will slide tackle it out of the way. Now Korea, lead pass down the right side, like the wing on the right side. Little hold up, long pass towards the center, headed away by China. And good effort by Kim Ji-ha for Korea. Also a nice play by Li Yan from China. It goes back to the center. Fullback's turn to get it out. That's Lin Yuping booting it out for China. Steve, this is not as physical as we have seen earlier tonight, particularly between the USA and Canada. Here comes China.
And I don't think you will see a lot of physicality in this particular match. We haven't seen either team overly physical with their opponents. So, unlike some of the European teams and the North American teams, they tend to put the body in there. The Koreans in the South and the Chinese teams have been very agile and precise with their passing, and they tend to focus on, sidestepping a lot more than trying to actually get in there. And it has come in their advantage when you look at the overall records of both teams.
Yeah, and you take a look at these overall records. We're in the 25-minute mark, by the way, so we should see a timeout for water anytime here. But one of the things that grabbed my attention earlier today when I was looking at the statistics is that Korea, in its 3 games, 1 yellow card. 1 yellow card. China, in its 3 games, 1 yellow card.
Yeah, very disciplined ball right there. And that shows you they're not slamming into their opponents. So they're backing off, but they're also taking advantage, not by having that open space as well.
Corner kick from China. It comes towards the center, bends around, actually hits the side of the post and comes out. Bounds back into the field of play. Taken nicely by Kim Won-ji. She's got a good long pass over to the right side, but chasing it down very quickly, Zhang Ri.
And a little foul there. Yep, again, another bend, using that wind to their advantage, and that's why we're seeing that ball just slide in there like Beckham. Bend it like Beckham.
Bend it like Beckham. I knew that's where you were going on that one. It was a good movie. I enjoyed the movie myself.
Never seen it.
But the saying is, you need to see the movie, because once you see the movie, you will see really what bend it really means. I mean, he could really bend it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've seen the highlight films. Trust me. I used to wonder if he had a remote control in that ball.
It's pretty much the way it was. So water break should be coming up. We're in the 27th minute. Water break should be coming up any time. China moving it around in their half of the field.
I'm going to turn the volume up here on the outside. You got a little competition going over here. We're seeing a lot of Korean flags out there, a lot of Chinese flags out there. They're starting to kind of look at each other and try to out-chant each other. That's what we're looking for.
Good pass, give and go. China's got a couple of shots on goal. Korea's got one. Korea's also got a couple of saves tonight. And we talked about the yellow cards, but let me talk about the top scorers here for a second. And I'll do that in just a second as both these teams head over to the sideline right now for the water break. No.
Not yet.
The official stays over here. No, not quite yet.
Maybe it's not warm enough.
Well, they are. They are.
Okay.
They're headed over there for the water break right now. I couldn't tell because the official on this side of the field, who normally goes across and gets hydrated himself, has stayed on this side of the field. Subsequently, they're into the water break. So the crowd we talked about tonight, the crowd with the flag wave, when you don't see the flags as much, they're posted on the fence. You get a good look down on the fence, and you can see those flags on the fence, the Korean flags down on the fence. They're blowing in the breeze a lot, but a lot of pride there, and, of course, strong support by this Korean contingent here tonight. They bring the flags, land of the morning calm, and they're behind their team. It's a good sign. The Chinese flag to the left of them also, they've got a big flag posted up on the fence, and you can see the yellow star and then the 4 stars off to the right, and then the red background on the Chinese flag, and then the handheld flags as well. I can tell you this, that the contingent for China, they're behind their team just as much as those are behind the Korean team. So I was getting ready to talk about the top scorers. Zhu Shan has scored 4 goals for China. She's one of the top scorers in this tournament. She scored 2 against Canada and 2 against the United States. Her teammate, Lu Langwin, she's got 3 goals. She had 2 goals against Canada. Liu Yugun also had a goal against the Netherlands. Wu Yufan had a goal against Canada, and Zhang Tong had a goal against Canada as well. So China can score. They've scored 10 goals in this tournament. Oh, and collision in the center of the field. One of the Chinese players is down. Took a shot in the head. Play goes on, however. Korea. The player from China still down. Shot on the outside, and it's a goal! Goal! Korea! Chinese player down on the field. Play continued on. Korea continued on. And they put it in the goal. Korea takes a 1-0 lead over China, and that player is down on the field. She went down hard. I saw the collision. And I don't know if her head hit a knee or hit another head. I'm not 100% for sure. I just know that she went down and stayed down and did not move. And while play continued, Korea capitalized with a goal. So we'll see if we can't get a number down on the field. The player looks like she is rising to her feet. She is. Being tended to by the trainer from her team. Wipes off the side of her face, and she's back up on her feet as still as she was. Natural concern, but she's back on her feet, and a nice job that time. That is Li Yan, who was down for China. She's going to go off to the side and recover. So number 11, Li Yan, moves over to the side. 32nd minute on the clock. 1-0 Korea. And back it goes to Guan Zhiyong. Korea pretty active. That was the limit. Lee Rung tried to get it going back the other way, but it goes out on the other side. China will inbound the ball. Throw in. Controlled by Korea. Long pass towards midfield. Off Chinese player, and Korea maintains possession. China steals the inbound pass, and Korea gets it right back, but it goes back over to China. They're working the left side of the field. They're going to bring it back to the center, try to set things up from there. Look for it to come to the right side. It does. Goes over to Liu Yanguin. Out of bounds that time. That's off the foot of Kim Wonji. So China will inbound. Quick throw in. Comes into the center. That one went to Liu Yanguin. And Korea comes away with it. Kim Jaha. Jiha puts it out to the outside. And Korea will take its time and set things back up. They lead 1-0. We're in the 34th minute of play. High pass, and down on the field goes Kim Min-jin from Korea. She bounces up quickly, though. And you see the 4 defenders back right now for China. They're fairly fluid. But you see them playing a 4. Looked like a 4-3-3. Left side off the right foot. That was by Bon Du-young of Korea. That shot goes left of goal. So it's going to be a corner kick by Korea. You've got Kwon Ha-nul standing on the left side. Shot comes in towards the goal. Blocked nicely that time. A lot of players together, but there was a wall, if you will, by China. Well played defensively. Wind just kind of picking up now. Nice play by Kim Jiha. Kim Jiha goes down to the ground. Taken away that time by Liu Yanguin. She'll come back out to the center. Passes out to Zhang Ri. Ri over to Yao Wei. And they'll try to pull it up their left side, but Korea says not tonight. Back out to Kwon Ha-nul, trying to control play in the center of the field. And it gets by everybody. Back to the defense of China. China will take its time, launch it long. They've got the wind behind their back. And it will go all the way down in the direction of Guan Zhiyong.
Yeah, right now the initial word ban is we still don't have a identity on the scorer. We're actually asking the officials and everybody down field. And to the best of my understanding, even the referees right now don't know. Or at least the officials in the CISM Sports Committee. So it's going to be interesting who they credit that goal to. There was a lot of action. A lot of people were looking at the down player, not necessarily at the goal, except for the referees, but I'm not sure if they actually saw who kicked it. So once we get that, we'll get that out to you, get that information over.
We will do our best, as we have been trying all along. I will tell you, first of all, that we're very pleased to be able to come to you live stream here of the 2018 CISM Women's World Football Championship on Facebook with the replays posted over to YouTube so that you can pull up and watch it at any time you would like. We are delighted to be able to do that, and wherever you are around the world, we're delighted that you could be with us tonight on this live stream broadcast. Having said all that, a couple of disclaimers. Long pass, left foot, straight ahead. China will get there before Korea does, and they will gather it back in. Korea will try to set it up again. Over near the far side, it's going to go out of bounds. But having expressed our pleasure of being able to come to everyone on the live stream, Steve, the challenge is, well, simple. We are in a press box in a situation that it's difficult to see across the field. When people gather in front of the goal, we don't have the advantage of the instant replay that a lot of monitors will show you. If you watch the World Cup from Russia, you will see what good coverage is really all about. They have done a marvelous job, absolute marvelous job. But that is a FIFA-controlled central feed, and everybody watches the same pictures all over the world. It goes out to different countries, and the different countries put their own announcers over the pictures that the central control booth of FIFA sends out. The same thing for the Olympics, though. People watch the same pictures. Every country does not bring its own television crew. They will bring its own announcers, but they will have a central feed put out by the Olympic broadcast folks. And the FIFA broadcast folks do the exact same for the world coverage.
Yep, like you mentioned earlier, we are coming on Facebook Live. The original intent was to go YouTube. However, we had some issues with YouTube and our account and limited our ability to live stream. And unfortunately with YouTube, you cannot reach a human being unless you have about 1 million subscribers or something along those lines. So
well, here's the
if YouTube's listening, YouTube, reach out and let us know why we can't talk to you.
I don't want to.
We're going to repost this because we would love to talk to you about our account here and talk to a human being. So.
Down tempo. That's all I could say.
Yeah. I'm done.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I don't know if I can hang around you a whole lot because, we got the YouTube incident.
Oh, it's
not to mention the other things. So
the other thing, what, my water slide?
I got a great picture of you coming down the water slide today. Really good picture. But the thing about Facebook that we were talking about just a little bit, it's a real pleasure to be able to hear from people from wherever you may be around the world. We hear from folks coming in from Korea right now.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we are unable to translate that, but we see your messages coming in on Facebook, and we're thrilled that you're watching.
Absolutely. We're getting a lot of great response with the stream.
Header, left side, no good. That came off the head of Nam Jongmin.
Yeah, we actually had when we actually switched it to Facebook Live the first time, it was with the France and Brazil match, and we had an amazing response. I mean, just with overnight, we had well over 8,700 views just overnight. So fantastic response. One of the things we try to do is be very responsive to any technical issues. The heat has been a problem throughout the tournament. Cameras, wind.
Are you saying because it was 104 degrees when we started game one and the wind was blowing 25 miles an hour that it affected our broadcast a little bit?
Just a teeny bit.
Just a teeny bit.
Just a little bit. I mean, my computer was so hot I thought it was going to explode on me. But the crew here at Fort Bliss, they were great. They were able to get us a second air conditioner. Not just the first one was already here, but the second one really took the temperature down into a very manageable range. And it's not necessarily for us. It's for actually the equipment.
For the equipment.
Because if I shut this fan off that's blowing on the computer right now, that CPU will turn around and go at near 100%. So I have to have a fan blowing on the computer nonstop.
I turned around one time and I thought you were icing, something down to eat, but you were icing down your computer.
Yes, it was.
Like, it had a sprained knee, a sprained ankle, or something like that. Put ice on it and takes down the swelling and that
I wish
kind of
I had
stuff.
Magic Spray for the computer.
Yeah, there you go.
For the computer.
There you go, right there.
Just talk to some of the trainers to come up here. Hey, do you have a knee injury? No, I have a computer injury.
I think you're onto something that's good, a good idea. I think if you could, maybe, I don't know, devise that Magic Spray for the computer and then market it.
Hey, we should have a partnership between athletic trainers and our IT specialists.
There you go.
And see what they can come up with for this computer.
Well, let's see what Johnny can come up with right now. Good launch downfield by Li Yuting. It's going to go all the way down to the right corner. It's got the wind behind it, and it goes out of bounds on the right corner. Liu Yuting has a strong foot. She plays back on the right side, but she's got a lot of field that she can cover. She can set things up on the right side if she has to, but primarily a defender in this game. You see the 4-back for China right now. And then the 3 in the middle and the 3 forwards. You get a good clear look right now. Header right side, a couple of headers by Korea. And it bounces off the back of one of the Korean teammates and goes out of bounds. How about these young spectators in front of us, Steve, to note they've got the Chinese flags, and not one of them looks like they're over 10 or 11 years old. Not 100% for sure, but
got a lot of little youngins here. They're posing for pictures. They're definitely taking up the front center stage here.
That they are, and it's a good picture.
Yeah. And you have the South Korean contingent as well to our right. Now, a lot of the local Korean community here in El Paso found out about the arrival times of the Korean delegation, and they met them at the airport to their surprise. Even to the surprise of our organizers who were there to greet the Chinese or the South Korean delegation. They arrive off, and next thing you know, right behind them, they had the flags going and really surprised our Fort Bliss crew. Pleasant
in a good way.
though.
I was just getting ready to say surprise, but a pleasant surprise.
Absolutely.
Good way. Korean player down on the far side of the field. See if you can get a number on that. Looks like maybe 1-4. That's Kim Jiha. And she pops up. That one goal really looms large right now as Korea has a 1-0 lead over China.
And that was 1-4 right there.
My eyes have not completely failed me at this point in time. I can still see across the field to some degree.
God bless you, man.
Thank you.
My eyes are, even with the binoculars, suspect. I need to walk around with one of the optometrist glass swivels every 6 months, just to keep that thing going.
45 minutes. We're into stoppage time in the first half of this game. Breakaway downfield. Good effort that time to get it back out, and no goal scored. China's going to come back again. Kwon Ju-young trying to work things for Korea. And it looks like we've got a yellow card over on the far side. Yellow card administered on the far side, going against one of the Korean players. Kim Jeong-ju got a yellow card against the Netherlands for Korea. And I'm not for sure who that yellow card was on right there. That might have gone against Kim Jiha on the far side. And second minute of stoppage time right now. We saw the United States score a goal with only like 5 seconds left before the second minute of stoppage time expired in the first half of the last game. And I think that either Korea or China would like to do that right now. Kim Ji-won right now, I think number 6 is who the yellow card was called on. As we got a player down on the field right now, that is Kim Won-ji.
18.
Bon Du-young is going to line up for the kick. Free kick. Shot going to bend over to the side, out of the goal. Nice job that time by Tlei Ji.
She went completely horizontal on that one.
She did, and she knocked it away. And I think that was a smart move, Steve. Sometimes you try to gather it in and catch a high bending one like that, and it goes off your gloves, and then becomes a free ball in front of the goal, and you're out of position.
Yeah. She came out horizontal, Superwoman, double fist, knocked that ball out of there.
Good job. It's going to be a corner kick, though. Far corner. Korea. Low kick, and it's pushed back. You had all 10 players back there by the goal. Long shot down by Korea and bounded over this way by China. Into the stands. And they'll throw it back. And as they do so, the first half comes to a close.
There we go.
As Korea has taken a 1-0 lead over China in a hard-fought contest, a fairly clean-fought contest. A yellow card, one yellow card, a couple of players going up and a couple of players going down. Some great defensive efforts. Not that many shots on goal, but nonetheless, a fair-played game. As fans head to the concession stand, past the China cheering section, past the Korean cheering section, that's what it's all about. So the officials are going to head to the sideline. Players are going to head over there as well. Not as hot as it's been on other nights, but still, time to get water and time to stay hydrated. We're going to do the same. We're going to step aside when we come back. We'll be ready for the start of action in the second half. Your score at the end of the first half, Korea 1, China nothing. We're back after this break.
As a nation and as a military, we are proud to continue the valuable traditions promoting peace and friendship through sport. It's quite interesting and worth noting that General John Pershing, no stranger to Fort Bliss, as he served here earlier before he went to World War I, would be the force behind attempts to break down cultural and political barriers and promote friendship and morale among servicemen through sport as far back as 1919. It was his foresight and vision, recognizing the value of sport, that eventually led to the establishment of the CISM. And now, nearly a century later, we still strive for peace and harmony among the nations and recognize the value of the International Military Sports Council and moving nations closer to that lofty goal. So let us continue this tradition of friendly competition, sportsmanship, and camaraderie. May the friendships that will last a lifetime be established over the next 2 weeks, and may the best team win.
Your success will be measured not by how many goals you score, not by how many games you win, but the number of friends that you are going to make and the perpetuality of those friendships. So please, you need to note that very, very carefully. That is the motto of CISM.
Welcome back, everyone, to Fort Bliss, Texas, as we get set for the start of the second half of the game between Korea and China. This to see who advances out of Group A to compete in the gold medal match on Tuesday, the 3rd of July, 7 p.m. The loser of this game, they will go on and play for the bronze medal match against the runner-up team from Group B. That will be determined tomorrow when we're back here for more action tomorrow night. It's going to be France and Bahrain and Germany and Brazil, the final day of group play here in the 2018 CISM Women's World Football Championship. I'm Van Stokes. Glad you could be with us tonight. Wherever you are around the world, we're pleased that we can be coming to you on a live stream on Facebook. Korea picking up the goal in the first half. And they have held on as they went into the halftime. Up 1-0. That's the way we're going to start the second half of play. Officials are ready. The goalies are ready. Goalkeepers ready. And the kick is underway. Once again, Korea out in the red jerseys, black trunks, red socks. China, white tops, blue numbers, white trunks, and white socks. Wind has definitely picked up here. That stout field goes out of play, and Korea will inbound the ball. And China trying to mount an attack here early on. Only the opening minute of the second half. Good high kick with the wind. At the back, nice job by Gwonju Young. And China trying to control things in the middle of the field. Kim Won-ji. They're going to break out to the left side. Here comes Zhang Rui, out towards the center, but out of the goal quickly. Comes Gwonju Young. She's got the wind at her back, so let's see what she does. 2 bounces. She's got the 2 bounces. And the kick, and a high kick. 2/3 of the way down the field. And unable to track it down is the Chinese forward on the other side of the field. You can hear the wind blowing slightly, perhaps. I don't know if that's the flags whipping around or just the sound of the wind, but nonetheless, you might be able to hear some of the slight ambient audio noise, if you will, and that is the wind. That does not discourage the Korean crowd down here, who continues to wave flags and support of the Korean team. Corner kick. Korea back towards the center. Bends with the wind just a little bit. And China very quick back on defense. They're going to control and try to get it up the left side. Good dribble. Good run up the left side. Moves ahead very quickly. Good challenge, Tan Shan over on our side. Good leading pass. Sean's going to go down the left side. Controlling it in the center, Lin Yuyan. They'll go back to the right side instead. Forward leading pass into the wind. It's held up. China a little bit on the break. Attempted shot down low, but blocked nicely by the defender. Good challenge, good play that time. As very quickly the Korean defender got in the way and made the stop. Getting up off the ground, Lu Yangwen. And 4 goals already scored in this tournament by Zhu Jian. A couple against Canada and a couple against the USA, but tonight China has come up empty-handed thus far. It's been an evenly contested game though. Header by China. And with the wind behind it, it just pushes it out beyond the goal line, deep at the far end of the field. Treji will bring it back in. Here comes Korea. Shot from the center, but going down nicely. Treji will make the stop. She'll distribute it out to the left side of China. And there's the pass, but it goes a little bit wide. Kim Yongji gets it back down the field. It goes beyond the goal line one more time. Treji on the ball again. Her challenge is going to be to kick it into the wind. And the wind holds it up. Back beyond the goal line one more time, and Treji pressed in the service again. She'll get it out to the left side. China having a hard time getting past the defense of Korea. Kim Yongji had it taken away. And there's Guangzhou Yong getting it back up the field. You hear the crowd coming alive. Slipping on the headset again is Mr. Steve Denote. And Steve, this thing has gotten off to a slow start here in the second half. Haven't seen the fireworks maybe that we thought we might see on the field.
I think we're going back to just a very controlled defensive game. They're keeping it between the 20s out there. And they're waiting for that precise opportunity to get upfield. We saw a couple shots against the Korean goalkeep. We could hear that crowd going off. They are rooting for South Korea.
It's a good crowd on hand again tonight. We talked about them during the first half. Of course, the crowd from Korea and the crowd behind the Chinese team, and welling up here in El Paso, Texas. It's just good to see the multiculturalism, lack of better description.
Absolutely. This is what it's all about, and we're just fortunate to have a large crowd here with these two teams playing, not necessarily the home U.S. team. But we've seen a lot of Canadian fans here. The Germans have the German school here. We have a large Korean and Chinese contingent here watching the matches, and that's what this is all about. That's what we're looking for these championships.
There is another team in the stands tonight, and that is the team of Brazil. And because they play tomorrow night, does Brazil. They're going to play Germany, but confident as they are in their game, they're already thinking, well, we beat Germany, you know, we're going to be in the gold medal match. And Brazil's in the stands tonight realizing that if they make the gold medal match, they're going to face the winner of this game. So this is a great opportunity for them to put eyes on who could be their future opponent. Korean player down the field, but she gets up quickly when the ball comes back in the direction of Korea. Funny how that works.
No spray necessary.
Long pass downfield, booted out on the near side. Korea maintains. Korea's had possession this half.
They've been controlling it. I mean, they have been able to move it towards the goal a lot, but they've been able to keep it more in the Chinese defensive zone. China had a couple breaks where we saw a great defensive move that accredited a couple saves, but overall we're not seeing a whole lot of action outside of that midfield.
You know, I asked Mr. Hen Blickman what he thought might determine the game between USA and the Netherlands, and now I'm curious to know, what do you think will determine the game here? I mean, granted, Korea has a 1-zip lead, but the outcome may or may not end with this current way the score stands. But what do you think will determine the outcome of this thing in the final 40 minutes of the game?
We got to see a lot more aggressiveness come from the Chinese team. They're not taking control and getting upfield hard enough. Now, unfortunately, they don't have the wind to their backs like they did in the first half. So the ball is in the wind's in Korea's advantage, and they're going to use that. We saw Chinese take advantage of the bend and watch it throwing their corner kicks. So they do have an upwind battle for an upfield battle. They have to get, you only got 30 minutes for I'm sorry, can't do my math here. 35 minutes left in this match, but they better get on the horse if they're going to get on the board.
Chinese passes have been just a little bit off tonight as well.
Yep. Not as precise and crisp as we saw against Canada.
But then again, Canada is a different style of defensive team than we're seeing perhaps in Korea.
Yep.
Canada was a team that laid back and wait more. Korea is a team that will come after you and challenge you a little bit more.
They will take advantage of those open spaces. And they have unique formations that we see their formations almost change. Like right now for Korea, we're seeing 4 forwards, 3 mid, 3 defenders. But then they shift back into a 3-4-3. So we're seeing a lot of different formations there. I mean, when you look at Chinese defense, you're seeing the 3 defenders, 4 mid, 3 forwards, but then they even change. We've seen it go down to 2 forwards at times. So,
in short, Korea appearing to be a little more fluid perhaps out there tonight.
Yeah. And one of the things I noticed with a lot of the matches, the Chinese defense tend to bunch up a lot and go more between those yellow hash marks you see.
Ball goes all the way down the far end, and Cui Ji gets it back out.
You asked me what the key is earlier. I think the key is going to be whoever opens this field up a little bit and takes advantage of some of those breakaways. You're going to see the score change a little bit.
You know, in the earlier games with Korea and China, we saw them play sideline to sideline. I mean, they widened that field, created lanes to pass and run, and really did a good job in the earlier games. Down goes the Korean player. Good play that time.
That was a clean tackle
by Tan Shan.
To control the ball.
Very nice job by Tan Shan, number 6 for China. And she heads it back out towards the sideline. Rolls out of bounds. Kim Ji-won will put it back in. China will control it. Good effort that time.
Just some sloppy passing, unfortunately. That's what gives up some of those critical turnovers.
And Chinese crowd yelling for their team to have something to yell about. Way out of the goal right now, Guan Zhu-young. Wind behind her back, will loft it long and loft it high. What a kick. High aerial ball. Chinese team controls. Right side. Here comes China. Let's see if they can do something. Long pass downfield, but nobody home. Out of the goal, Guan Zhu-young. Good long kick downfield. China's going to be there, though. Zheng Ri controls things from the left side. Boots it back over to the center. Out in the center, Lin Yuyan. Chinese player down on the far sideline. It's going to be Chinese ball. Pretty even in terms of unofficially shots on goal tonight. 5 shots on goal by Korea and 4 shots on goal by China. 4 saves in the goal by Trey Ji and 3 saves on the night by Guan Ji-young. So, again, what we're looking at is a fairly even game out there.
Yeah.
Free kick, far side, headed out by Korea, and they'll get it all the way out.
And I'm not surprised with some of those statistics. We haven't seen a whole lot of action in the goalie area.
Korea is just walled up in front of their goal. You cannot penetrate.
Yep. They got 3 defenders out there. Looks like they got 5 mid now.
China is a team that beat Canada 6-0 and beat the USA 3-0, and they trail Korea 1-0 tonight. Oh, by the way, Korea beat the USA 1-0. So it's a funny game. I mean, it shows you how it goes sometimes.
Yep. And that game, I mean, when we had USA and China go, we had winds up to 25 miles an hour. And definitely the Chinese team was able to take advantage of those high winds. And when the U.S. had the advantage of the wind, unfortunately the wind didn't go wasn't as high. But the China defense really took over.
They did. They really did. And the USA could not penetrate. USA could not get close.
No.
But credit to USA. They came back tonight and beat the Netherlands.
Yep, second win of the tournament.
After that was the second straight win of the tournament because they beat Canada in their last outing. 1-0.
That's a big improvement for the program. The program hit a low for a little while, and we are seeing a movement now. The women's team has taken ownership. They're making sure they get the word out to their players. Even the ones that were cut for this team, they're really going after them, making sure that they come back again and try out again, because you never know, they may have that, you know, that they may figure out what didn't work well for the camp. Now they know what they got to work on. They have a year to work on that. So
and Derek Wayne, the Air Force coach, very probably back, depending, of course, upon his military responsibilities.
Of course.
But very possibly back as coach again of the next CISM team for the United States. Has got some pretty good players to work with in the future, Steve.
And 2 great coaches along with them.
Correct.
With Marcy Walton and Aaron Essler. So, you know, if we can keep the coaching staff together. Now, of course, they're not all stationed together. They're spread out all over the country, just like our players are. So they will leave this tournament, and they will come back based on availability. You know, their commands have to approve them to come back. Operational tempo will dictate whether they're able to come out.
Ops tempo is huge. I mean, you don't know what's going to be going on in the world, you know, in 3 months or in much less a year from now.
Absolutely. And it doesn't always have to be a wartime. I mean, it could also be just general, you know, certification for, you know, certain systems. I mean, you can have a weapon system that you got to be certified on, or it might be your turn to do a certain rotation, and you never know.
You don't know
what that happens. So, I mean, that's why, you know, as long as you got good people behind you that were able to cover for you behind the desk around the workshop there, then that's going to determine whether they're able to come back.
You know, I used to, when I worked at the installation level at Fort Campbell, I would always talk to young service members and say, it is a privilege to play at this level. It's not a right that you have. Good corner kick over to the left side, and it's a goal.
Korea with their second goal.
Korea. Corner kick in the far corner. Could not tell you who hit that in. But they played it to perfection. And give them credit where it's due. Sneaking in there to get the header into the goal and give Korea a 2-0 lead. Kim Ji-ha, number 1414, is the one who snuck that into the goal. And the assist from the corner was well done. Kim Ji-ha scores on the goal. That one came in the 63rd minute. China down 2 now. And down goes a Korean player. But she will pop back up. Down on the ground for Korea. That is going to be have to double check that one for you. Long shot, way down goal, and coming up quickly with it is Treji. Again, the wind behind you, that was a big help. And the wind can bend that ball coming out of the corners just as easy as it can push it downfield. Play over on the far side. 2-0 is the score, with Korea out in front of China right now. This the first CISM Women's Football Championship that China has participated in. And quite honestly, they have done exceptionally well, in spite of the fact that they're behind 2-0 tonight. Both of these teams looking to move on to the medal matches on Tuesday. If this score stands, Korea will be playing for a gold medal, and China will be playing for a bronze medal if this score stands. But we're at the 66-minute mark, and China can score quickly.
And we saw them score quickly on multiple occasions before.
Here comes Korea. The fast break down the other side. They're going to slow it up a little bit. Nam Jong-min passes over to the right side. Shot towards the center. Chested
Excellent
nicely.
defense.
Very nice defense.
Excellent defense.
That was Kim Ji-ha on the right side that tried to get it in.
One of the things, Van, we talked about with China's development and introduction and debut of this program this year, regardless of what happens, they're one of the top 4 teams going in. When you enter the gold and bronze medal match, you're one of the top 4.
Boy, here came China, but credit that time Kwon Ju-young coming out of the goal to make the nice stop. No, anytime you come in here on your first outing, Steve, and you come out of here as one of the top 4 teams and a very strong possibility to wear a medal around your neck, you've got to feel pretty good. Kicking it out quickly comes Kwon Ji-young. Korea would like to put something together again, but China's going to drop back. That ball will go out of bounds on the far side. China will have to throw in. China trying to turn it around.
And we're seeing some more aggressive play from China that we haven't seen most of the match.
They've got their backs against the wall, Steve. They're down 2-0.
Absolutely. They know they got to do something now.
Kick down beyond the goal line. Treji will bring it back out. You've been here 2 weeks. Does it seem like 2 weeks to you?
Yes. Not gonna lie. I love this, but we've had quite a busy travel season so far. We had the U.S. Armed Forces Volleyball Nationals at Herbert Field, Florida in May. We had, before that, I was at the General Assembly in Dominican Republic. Now we've had the Men's Armed Forces Soccer Championship at Fort Bragg at the beginning of June. Was home for all 5 days before we came out to here, so after that we're looking for a little bit of a break.
There's China. Shot down to the right side. It's going to drift wide. Remember, they're shooting into the wind. So, yeah, I mean, you can go and travel, and championship after championship. But after you spend 2 weeks in one spot, it's time to get home for a while.
It is. But you know what? I'm not complaining because it's the best job in DOD. We get to take care of our warrior athletes. We get them only for a few weeks, and we get to treat them like world-class athletes. Then they go back to their duty station protecting this fine nation. And the time we have them for these international competitions, they have an opportunity to see different cultures, experience the different militaries, really promote the American way of life, as well as learn other cultures out there. That way, when we do meet, either in training exercises and in other situations, that they actually have an appreciation for each other.
That they do. A bona fide Olympic-type experience. Shot towards the goal, and it just doesn't go. That was off the foot of Zhang Ri.
And she bent that ball a little bit. Unfortunately, had that little English one a little to the right, and the wind took it and just went a little right to the goal.
Credit Guan Zhiyong. She came out of the goal in pretty good shape, but still, I thought that Zhang Ri from China had a marvelous opportunity to put one in the goal.
She had the opportunity, but goal keep there. She decided, I'm going to put my body there, and forced that ball to try to hit the outside corner. Unfortunately, she just couldn't nail it in.
No, you're right. You got to credit Guan Zhiyong. She cut the angle down.
Yep.
But China has picked up steam a little bit and are playing a little more aggressive right now. Pass down the right side. Liu Yangwen going to pass all the way over to the far side, and it's going to go out of bounds. We are now in the 71st minute of this game. Approximately 19 minutes left of regulation time. And China is 2 down. You got Guan Zhiyong ready to launch it with the wind behind her back. It pulls up a little short of the midfield line. And China almost getting it back, but Korea doing a good job on defense. One of the players goes down. And the referee will go over and check on him. Could be number 28, not 100% for sure, Moon Seong-mi. But I can't see that number clearly. Nonetheless, they will call for the trainer.
Yeah, it looks like 28.
Yeah.
He's down on the field there.
That is Moon Seong-mi. And that will send both teams to the sidelines for water. Hydration, again, the name of the game. So far, unofficially 10 shots on goal by Korea tonight, with 5 by China, and 7 saves tonight by Tlei Ji, and 3 saves so far in the evening by Guan Zhiyong. We are looking forward to tomorrow, and the 2018 CISM Women's World Football Championship coverage resumes with Group B action. Tomorrow it's going to be France and Bahrain, 6:30 in the evening, here from Stoutfield in Fort Bliss, Texas, followed by the second game of Group B action tomorrow at 9 o'clock, Germany versus Brazil. That's going to be a good one. We're going to see Brazil again. They are a team to watch.
They got a lot of powerful scores. We got Vasconcelos with 4 goals.
Pamela Vasconcelos has scored 4 goals in one game against Bahrain.
I believe she has, 6 total goals, if I'm not mistaken? I don't know if you have your technical report with you.
I do have my technical report. And I think she's got 5, but let me double check that one for you. She's got a total of 5, and she scored 5 times against Bahrain.
Yeah, I think 2 of her goals actually came in the 90th minute of play, that stoppage time.
Well, she had a goal in the first stoppage time in the first half at 45 plus 2. Yeah. Her second goal came at 48. And then stoppage time at the end of regulation, she had one in 90 plus 2 and 90 plus 4.
Unbelievable.
So the bottom line is she never stopped. She never stopped. Scored 3 of her goals in stoppage time.
Yeah. Don't quit till the final whistle. That's what it's about.
Pretty good play down there by Tleji.
Yeah. So we saw Korea take advantage for a little bit. Control, very good, precise passing, not allowing the ball to get out of bounds. And China was able to take control, though.
And how about Korea? They have kind of controlled the midfield tonight. China gets it back. Nice play that time by Liu Yangbin.
Yeah, we kind of talked about the formations before. We're seeing very fluid, chameleon-like formation where they go from 3 defenders to 4 defenders, and their midfield changes between 4 or 5.
Number 9, Lim Li Rong, is one of those players that plays the middle and then fluidly drops back to form that wall on defense.
Almost like a sweeper.
Almost. You got Kim Ji Wong back there. And you've also got Nam Jong Min back there. Good long leading pass, but nobody there to get it. They will track it down. Korea will out it to the left side. Good fight that time. That was off the foot of Lee Yu-Yan. And back down the field it goes again. Korea with 4 defenders back. It goes all the way back to Kim Yeon-ju, who puts it in the hands of Gwon Ji-young. This has just been one of those games that's been a midfield kind of game to a very, very large extent. And out on the far side, Korea's ball. And we've got a player from China down the far side. Well, that player's down. It's worth repeating, Steve, that Korea wins this game. They would go on to the gold medal match. But coming into this game, they had 7 group points compared to 9 group points for China.
Yep, and that 7 came from a tie between the Netherlands, which gave Korea only 1 extra point.
It was a 0-0 tie, nothing to nothing.
Nothing on the board. That's what we saw with the Dutch team. They have not let up a whole lot of goals. It wasn't to the last game with the United States where they actually gave up 3 goals in that match. But Netherlands actually was able to get on the board for the first time and score a goal.
They scored the first goal of the game, as a matter of fact. And in all honesty, kind of stunned the USA.
Yep. The USA was playing very aggressive up front and not leaving a whole lot of folks back on defense. But then they tightened that up a little bit, stayed persistent, and they were able to jump 3 goals on there.
Far side, it goes back to Gwon Ju-young. Good right-footed kick out of the goal. And China will turn it back. Nice pass over to the left side. But an offside call. China pressing a little bit right now. Good long kick by Kwan.
When you see some of the Brazilian players going down playing with the kids in the crowd from the Chinese team and Korean teams, kids are laughing and giggling with them. That's the one thing we've seen with Brazil. They not only bring a lot of great play and intensity, but they have fun out there on and off the pitch.
They're high energy,
Yeah,
and fun is their underlying word.
Every last one of them are embracing the kids in the crowd, and that to me is world class. That's first class, no matter how you look at it. Brazil sent a great team, and that's been our experience. We've had Brazil at a lot of our championships when we host in the United States, as well as all these other teams. But you know, Brazil always has a tendency to smile, really embrace the locals.
Pass left side, shot over by China. That was taken by Tan Shan, and it didn't make it. Now, Brazil steps up and plays very well in soccer, but they also play well in basketball, and they also play well in volleyball.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, you're not kidding with volleyball. They come with a lot of heart. China is very well at volleyball too.
That's correct.
They won the gold medal last year when we hosted CISM with our women's volleyball championship. The United States came in second. Brazil was not able to make the trip. They just finished hosting the Olympic Games, so they ran out a little bit of money. They were very disappointed, but they were also hosting 2 CISM championships around the same time, so they did have to prioritize. And Brazil's one of the most active nations in CISM, if not the active nation. Most of the personnel at CISM headquarters is from Brazil. A lot of their officers are augmented there.
They're very supportive of CISM.
Absolutely.
Very supportive. And China trying to press. They had the free kick, but were unable to do anything with it as the wall was set up just on this side of the goal and push the ball away. They're going to shoot it again. Li Yan challenged 2-on-1. Ball goes out of bounds against Korea, but Korea doesn't think that that's the right way. You don't see them get demonstrative. I mean, that's one of the things. It's not even out of bounds. You're going to get a free kick by China is what you're going to get.
Both these teams, I'm going to tell you, we have not seen them argue, calls, complain. Very well disciplined. And a pleasure to be around.
Direct kick gets by everybody. Wow.
Again, we saw that bend and winds taking it. That wind's coming from west to
indirect.
east, so, yep.
Indirect on that one, and that thing just bent to the right.
Yep.
But, you know, I was watching the World Cup earlier today, and you talk about vehemence. Wow. Those officials, they had their work cut out for them, particularly in the Uruguay-Portugal game. And you don't see that kind of demonstrative vehemence from any of these teams here in the Military World Cup.
And the referees do appreciate being around the military personnel because they know they can call a good game. They know it's going to be a fair game. You're not going to have a lot of cheap shots. You're not going to have a lot of unnecessary complaints from the athletes.
How does an official in the United States become recommended and selected to officiate in any CISM competition?
We deal directly with the national governing body for that sport. So in this case, USA Soccer. We deal with Mr. Rick Eddy, who's been a tremendous support for us, not just for this championship, but also our Armed Forces Championships, where we obtain national level referees. So we were very fortunate to have both Alicia Messer and Jennifer Gardner to come out because being a referee here in the United States, to be FIFA recognized,
it's quite an honor.
You have to, so there's only actually, believe it or not.
Here comes China, and they're going to get called for the offsides. Offsides. But you take all the officials in the United States, and to be the 2 that are recommended to come at this level of international competition is indeed quite an honor.
It is. And total, FIFA referees, check this out. How many people we have in the United States, population-wise? Over 320 million?
Over 320 million last time I checked.
8 FIFA international referees. And that's the referee, not the assistant referees.
Wow.
But the actual referees. And that now FIFA does give each nation quotas. 2 of those FIFA referees are actually at the World Cup.
Wow.
3 others are working for Major League Soccer. And now, while both Jennifer and Alicia are assistant referees, you know, even that pool is not very large as well. So we were very fortunate and thankful that they were able to come out and support. So thank you, USA Soccer, for all your support, not just with our referees, but just your support in general. For love and admiration of our team, we appreciate your support.
We talked with Captain Rudy Fell last night, who's the president of the CISM Sport Committee for Football, and he said the goal is to get all women officials, and that could happen next year. It remains to be seen, but yeah, it's a real credit to get up at this level. Now we got a player down on the far side.
Yeah, we're seeing a big crowd there. Let's see who's down.
Korean player on the far side.
Number 20 from China, or Korea.
You can see through. You can see through that crowd, huh? That's going to be Kim Yeon-ju.
Number 20. Yep.
Kim Yeon-ju on the
Looking
far
at her
side.
Face right now.
And I think a yellow card came out on that as well. Yellow card on Kim, number 20, Kim Yeon-ju. Am I correct on that, Steve?
So number 20 from Korea went down. We're hearing it was number 20 from China.
20 from China. That is Zhang-ri.
Zhang-ri? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard 20. We were looking at who went down. We saw number 20, and then we got a report from the box. It was number 20. They got the yellow card.
Kim Yeon-ju went down for Korea, and getting the yellow card was Zhang-ri from China.
And again, we're not seeing a lot of yellow cards from either one of these teams. So, but we are seeing a little bit more aggressive. We are seeing a little bit more physicality right now. Now that we have, you know, about 5 more minutes of this match left.
Shot down on goal, but covering it nicely is Kwon Ju-young. She's done a nice job. 86 minute is where we are, and Korea holding a 2-0 lead over China. Korea no stranger to the championship competition. You go back and you take a look at their past history. And you will see that Korea in the past has 3 silver and 1 bronze. They have never won a gold medal in women's soccer. A lot of wind coming in that time, and quickly step aside. That was our air conditioner up here in the booth that the microphone went right.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I took my microphone off so I can get a stats update, and of course I put the microphone into the fan here. My apologies for that. But there you go, Van. There's some stats update for you.
Play right in front of us now, Korea. Trying to get something going in the middle. The last 10, 15 minutes, they've been down at the other end of the field, just like this, if they can get there. Out to the center right now, Liu Yang-gwen, but Korea will take it back over. Booted ahead, and it's going to be an offside call. Taking a look at our shots on goal. 10 shots on goal so far tonight by Korea, 8 by China. And the saves are pretty even. 8 saves so far by Teleji for China, and about 6 saves on the evening for Kwon Ju-young.
So, got the CISM German basketball team watching. I'd like to give a shout out. Wie geht's, servus. Vielen Dank.
Nee, alles klar here in El Paso, Texas.
Jawohl. Das deutsche basketball team.
No offsides here. Good lead pass. Left side out of bounds. Off the foot of the Korean player.
That was my Bavarian American accent.
Your
there.
Bavarian American accent
Yep.
with a tinge of American Philly, right?
Yeah, South Philly. Hey,
South Philly.
How you doing?
Yeah, there's nothing worse than someone from South Philly trying to speak Bavarian German.
It confuses a lot of people. First time I went to Germany, I really did have to lose the South Philly accent, even when I was speaking English, because the local community that did speak English, they were kind of confused by some of the language and dialect.
When I'm in auf Deutsch, I say, ich spreche mit Hand und Fuß.
Yeah.
Speak with my hands and I speak with my feet. But here's, well, you have to sometimes in order to get your point across. But here's the beautiful thing.
I like to see you speak with your hands if you look like a jumping jack.
No, ich spreche mit Hand und Fuß all the time. But the beautiful thing is this, Stephen. You've been all over the world.
Yes.
I've been a few places
Nice slide
myself.
tackle and possession right there.
Beautiful job by Korea.
Just wasn't
China's
there
going
for
to
the
get it back.
transition.
That was a very nice play, I might
was.
add. Goes back to Treji.
Yeah.
The point I was going to make is, and you've been all over the world, and I've been a few places myself, and the bottom line is, language really begins in the heart. It really begins in the heart. And when you can convey sincerity, whether you're conveying with your hands, whether you're conveying with your feet, and most of all, when you convey with your smiles, your mouth, smiling, and with your eyes, you're going to be well received. Great shot on
Nice.
goal. And what a play.
Fantastic.
What a nice job by Kwon Ju Young.
We're at the 90th minute.
So we're into stoppage time right now with Korea holding a 2-0 lead over China. And I mean that very sincerely. I mean, wherever you go in the world, if you can speak with sincerity and heartfelt expressions, with a smile and with your eyes, it goes a long way.
And we got a substitution here. Number 9 on the Korean side.
9 goes out of the game for Korea. That's going to be
23.
Lim Lee Rong. And coming into the game for Korea, number 2-3.
And we got 5 minutes of stoppage time. 5 minutes.
That's going to be Wang Ji. Excuse me, Wang Ji Xiong. Wang Ji Xiong. 5 minutes of stoppage time. It's considerable.
It's practically an overtime.
A lot can happen in 5 minutes.
So, of course, we get 2 minutes automatically for the water breaks. Again, my South Philly accent. Water, not water. But 3 minutes of injury time.
Play continues. Korea will kick it back. Once again, we're back tomorrow night with the final day of group play. France and Bahrain at 6:30. Germany and Brazil. 9 o'clock, left side. They try to set it up towards the center. Shot. Bounces off a player, goes wide. And finally goes out to the far side of the field.
Tried to get in front, no one there.
China doing everything it can to get into the goal. But Korea responding with everything they have to deny the score. And in all honesty, Steve, when this thing set itself up, I really did not know how it was going to go. I knew it was going to be an interesting game, but I really couldn't tell you whether China was going to get the edge over Korea or Korea the edge over China. But we have seen thus far tonight, the edge has gone in the favor of Korea.
Yep. When we saw the Korean offense get flat against the Netherlands, there was a lot of speculation that the Koreans may not be able to make it to the finals based off of what China did to Canada.
6-0.
6-0. But Korea really opened up this match. They were able to get a lot of opportunities, increased their chances on offense. But China did come in. They're still playing aggressive. Look at them.
Very, very much so. They have not slowed
Bodies are
down.
still going down. We got 2 bodies down.
China has picked up its aggressiveness here
Yeah.
in this latter part of the second half. 2 people on the ground on the far side.
Number 15 for China is down. And then for Korea, we look like we got a facial injury.
That's Lu Yangwin down for China. Number 15, can't see who it is. Can't get a number yet for Korea. And Lu Yangwin has 3 goals in this tournament. She's got 2 against Canada.
Yeah, looks like they're calling for a sub. Number 7.
Number 7 for China. And
Number
number 7 for
Korea.
Korea. That's Ban Du-young. And she's played a hard game. She's played a hard tournament, I might add. Played hard every game has Ban Du-young.
Still got about 2 more minutes of stoppage time left.
Corner kick, China. Low kick cleared by Korea.
Very low. Again, it's that
China
wind.
long shot. Oh,
Excellent.
Jump up. Pushes it above the crossbar, and a great save by Kwon Ju-young.
She put on the rocket boots on, was able to get some elevation up there. Without that, that was a goal for China.
That was a goal. It would have snuck in just under the crossbar.
That is not the first time she's done that in this match, too.
We have seen some stellar goalie play, some stellar goalkeeping play in this tournament.
And you got the Korean crowd.
It's going to be a corner kick from our side of the field. Kick is up. Good corner kick.
Excellent
Off a couple of
defense.
hits and good defense by Korea. It will go out on the other side.
Last
Not a
touch
corner
was
kick,
China.
but
Yep,
out on the
Korean
far
gets
side.
possession.
And there is your game. As time has expired, Korea has defeated China by the score of 2-0. And Korea will advance to the gold medal game.
That's not.
Korea will advance to the gold medal game, and China, by virtue of being beaten tonight, will come out and play for the bronze medal against the runner-up from Group B. That will be determined tomorrow. But one thing's for sure, Group A, the winner in Group A, that's going to be Korea, and they will be out for the gold medal game against the winner of Group B, as I said, to be determined tomorrow. A pretty even game throughout the course of the night. About 10 shots on goal for Korea, 8 shots on goal in the night for China. Saves, you've got to give a lot of credit to Korean goalie Kwon Ju-young. She had 7 saves, but 8 saves on the night also to Trey Ji. So goalies figured in this, goalkeepers finished in this outcome very, very significantly tonight. But credit Korea. They came out on the top side by the score of 2-0 over to China, and they now will advance to the championship game. You see the Korean team coming over to the near side of the field to express their appreciation to the Korean fans. Gathered down on the bleachers to our right side. They've got flags and have been waving the Korean flag all night long, handheld flags. They cheer the team from Korea. The Korean team gives them a bow and then gives them a big round of applause, and they run back to the other end of the field. No jogging, no walking, a run back to the other field.
Yeah, they're flying high. Look at them. They got the wings out. And now you have the Chinese team coming over to thank their fans that are in attendance.
Brings a smile to your face, does it not?
It does. I mean, this is an international tournament, and we have international crowds. That's what makes this tournament unique around the world.
So China will come over and express its appreciation to its flag-waving fans in the stands below us as well.
Got little kids running between the players.
It's called mutual appreciation, Steve. Lack of better description.
It is.
The fans appreciate the team, and the team certainly appreciates the fans.
Absolutely.
Simple as that. And they will head back to the other end of the field. It's about people coming together, and it's called CISM. That's what it's all about. Steve, denote a pretty good night of soccer. United States defeating the Netherlands 3-1. Neither the Netherlands nor the United States will move on in this competition, but then followed up by a pretty good game tonight, in which Korea has defeated China 2-0, and it will be Korea moving on to the gold medal match on Tuesday night. A good night of soccer.
Excellent night of soccer. I'm excited to see how this tournament's going to conclude. We got some great teams up for tomorrow, and by tomorrow night we'll know exactly who's in the finals. And from there, the stage is going to be set. We'll have the day off on the 2nd of July. So enjoy yourself that day.
Day off?
Don't hang out at the hotel. If I see you at the hotel, I'm going to kick you. So make sure you get out there and enjoy yourself. I know
yes,
we
sir.
will.
I will do my best.
We will be back full day on the 3rd, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, local time. That's 12 noon Eastern for the bronze medal match. 7 p.m. for the finals. 9 p.m. Eastern, so 7 p.m. Mountain. I'm excited.
I'm excited, too. That's all here at Stout Field in Fort Bliss, Texas. We're looking forward to tomorrow. The 2018 CISM Women's World Football Championship resumes coverage. Again, Group B action tomorrow. That's going to be France and Bahrain, 6:30 p.m. tomorrow night, Mountain Time, to be followed by Germany and Brazil, the last game of the group play before we head into the medal matches on the 3rd of July. So that's going to do it from Stout Field here at Fort Bliss, Texas. For my broadcast partner in this contest, Steve Denote, and our entire broadcast crew. Until tomorrow, I'm Van Stokes saying so long, everyone.